Starfield is in a really good place, everyone, and don't let anyone try to tell you otherwise. I've been playing a lot since the May 15th update, and it's not just me who's having a lot of fun. I was reading a couple of reports earlier that said the Xbox player base has seen a 70% surge in activity since the update dropped, mostly because of all the cool things that came with that update, like the performance upgrades, the aim assist, the survival mode, the maps. I mean, everything is just better, and it feels, honestly, my second playthrough, as I've said this elsewhere in another video, how when I originally reviewed the game last year after my first playthrough, I did 350 hours, had a lot of fun, give it like a 7.5 or an 8, right? It was like, it was good but not great. Here's some flaws. May 15th rolls around, 2024, I patch up, I start playing, and all those flaws are gone. And so now I'm left going, there's some Bethesda jank that's still here, but overall, they've done a lot of good things. The game has really gotten better, and my original review is definitely going to get changed here pretty quick. I'm not quite ready to do my final review, but we're getting there. I'm about 60 hours into my second playthrough, having a lot of fun. The streams have been great. The game has gotten a lot better. Is it perfect? No. No game is perfect. And anyone who tries to claim that such and such game is perfect is just out of their mind. It doesn't work like that. Every game is going to have flaws. Those flaws are going to be different per person. Like, I don't see the same flaws that you see, and you don't see the same flaws that I see. That's just the way the world works. Now, there may be some overlapping consensuses between players in these games, but the one thing that's consistent is that Bethesda makes really good games. This game, like many Bethesda games, and like many other games, Baldur's Gate 3, Rogue Trader, Cyberpunk 2077, all of these games have launched with bugs and issues, which they patch out over time. It is the cycle of game development. It's nothing new, and Bethesda is no different in that regards. They're still doing land vehicles. Land vehicles are coming soon. We don't know exactly when, but sometime this summer, I would assume fall. And then we have the DLC coming in the fall, Shattered Space, which is promising to be something super, super fun. I need to finish my coffee, put this down, and dive into the game with y'all, because we're here on New Atlantis, and I want to talk about some things. So, is it perfect? No. Has it gotten much better? Oh, hell yeah, it's gotten much better. I am playing on the Xbox Series X, and one of the biggest things for many people was the ability to switch between performance and visual mode up to 60 frames per second. That change, it was much needed. I defended the game against the people who were freaking out about the 30 frames when it launched, because for me, I was like, I don't really, I don't need 30 frames. I enjoy many, 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 many games at 30 frames. Red Dead Redemption 2 as an example. 30 frames doesn't really bother me, except when we're talking about gunplay, and that was the one area where I felt the game was a little weak when it launched. For me personally, playing on the Xbox Series X, I realized that people who played on high-end PCs didn't have that limitation, but the Xbox users were limited to 30 frames when it launched. And that was, it didn't impact my gameplay, it did impact my gunplay, and so it led to me not enjoying the gunplay as much, so I didn't spend as much time on the gunplay. With this now here, I generally speaking, when I'm streaming, I will keep it on performance mode just because I want it to be as seamless as possible when we're streaming. But when I'm just in exploration mode and it's just me, I totally turn this onto visual mode with the 60 frame as the target, and play accordingly. And we'll leave it on for this video. We're going to run around New Atlantis a little bit. It'll reset the lighting as it switches back over. So it looks quite a bit different because there are higher visuals to everything. It doesn't look bad in performance mode, but it definitely looks lesser. And there's nothing wrong with that in my mind, because I also have an older PC. Sometimes when you're playing games you want it to run flawlessly, you put it down to medium settings. Like, I've never been a gamer snob who has to have like the latest graphics card and play everything at bleeding edge. I've never been that person. So mid-range stuff is what I'm always working with. And you can think of the performance option as kind of like the mid-range. It looks great in most places, but you will notice a difference when you're looking at things like this amazing ship and New Atlantis behind us. Now, when you get into town, when you get into the city itself, the only time I've noticed any major frame drops is when, if I'm running like so, and I hit a wall of NPCs, you'll notice a frame drop. It will, it won't necessarily be down to 30 or whatever, but it's less than 60. You'll notice it. It's a very slight little thing, but it is there, and that's one of the little flaws I'd like to talk about. Other than that, um, and the typical Bethesda jank of like occasionally the characters do weird things, like have their eyes closed when they're talking to you, or they walk into a corner when they shouldn't. The game is in a, I would argue, perfect state. I've not come across any bugs. I have consistently found really fun content. The gameplay for me on the Xbox now is incredibly fun with the new performance modes on and everything else. And more importantly, one of my favorite new things that got added in the gameplay options, and not only do we have the survival stuff, but aim assist right here, aim assist. I have it maxed because I suck. I do not shoot well on consoles. I am happy to use aim assist anytime it is offered. Games that don't offer aim assist, I tend to suck so bad at that I don't have a lot of fun in. So remember how I said earlier that the launch version of this, the gunplay for me was not that great. The gunplay now has become incredibly fun to the point where I now have started. The first playthrough I did, I only ever had one gun. I had one pistol, and then I had like a backup, I think an automatic backup or something. This time around, because I went with a soldier build, I have focused on not only just guns and gunplay, but gun modding. And there is some really cool stuff in terms of guns that you can get. And the overall gunplay in the game, now that I can play it at 60 frames and in performance mode and just rock everything. It's crazy. It's awesome. I have a really cool set of gear. We've got this UC United Colonies gear. I play a soldier boy this time around, so it's been very much focused on weapons, and just look at that. And these are modded weapons, so I've got different things. We've got a shotgun, like this automatic shotgun that I've got. There's lots of different things we do. And then on top of this, looking at just all the weapons available. There's a ton of weapons. The modding, the spaceship modding. I haven't even gotten into like outpost building yet, but that's a thing that is its own world entirely for players who want to get deep diving into that. But one of the things they did add was a much needed ship decoration mode where you can go into your ships now and decorate the interiors of the ships. They also offer now for ship builders, they offer empty modules, empty habitat modules. So you can build things from the ground up and then decorate from the ground up. So you can do the same thing with ships now that you could previously only do with outposts. They've added all of these, all of these new gameplay options for survival mode. So you can go in here and tweak all of these things exactly how you want. And on top of all of this, you just have the simple fact that we have land vehicles coming down the pipeline and the upcoming DLC. So the game is just getting better and better. This is what Bethesda does, like every other company out there that takes care of its long-term IPs. They build something, sometimes it's not perfect at launch, and then they refine it in that post-launch state, and they, in many cases, get these games to where they become these generation spawning commercial and critical hits. Starfield has been commercially a very successful game. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. and it looks like it could be working its way towards a critically lauded long-term future, assuming they can continue to add things in. I know people have a lot of wish lists so far still about, the vastness of the planets, because there are 1,000 planets, but it's procedurally generated, and that absolutely can lead to some repetitiveness if you're focused solely on that one thing. One of the things I love about this game is the ability to seamlessly transition between, I'm going to go work on quests, here's a bunch of quests I have in my journal. Let's go figure out these quests I want to work on. And maybe the quests I want to work on today are related to me going to a planet and talking to an NPC. Maybe it's a quest related to delivering passengers. Maybe it's a quest to go shoot some bandits out of the space around a planet. Maybe it's a quest to take on an enemy of the UC, or to take on some bandits who are attacking a planet. Maybe it's a quest, to go meet the Freestar Collective and become a deputy, or maybe I could go do, these are the faction quests, right? Deep cover for the Crimson Fleet. You could continue the Constellation quest, and then there's the obtaining powers, which is a whole nother in-game thing, and new game plus, and there's so many things to do in this game beyond just like doing missions and talking to NPCs, like in combat. Like there's lots of that, but there's also, you want to go craft? Let's go craft. And there's this massive crafting system with the pharmaceuticals and the cooking and the weapon mods and the spacesuit mods. Like I've already modded pretty much everything I'm wearing is modded to some degree. I'm not too, I'd say I'm probably a third of the way into modding as a sort of extra part of my leveling process. So all of these have some form of, and you can look on the right hand side, we've got different things that these weapons do. Some of these came with some of these, and then I've added to them. Like I changed this one to have white hot rounds. This one I ended up adding I believe the tactical stock to this one. I've added a couple of things to this one. I removed the cover. I put stealth lasers on it. Like I've modded it, pretty much all of these have had some sort of something done to them. And then in terms of my helmet, all of my gear has been modded in some way. This one has ballistic shielding on it. This is the one it's not a legendary because I just like the visuals on it so much. And it has good enough like physical energy and EM that I just don't worry about the benefits too much. But I've only modded it once because I'm not too deep into the modding sphere yet. But the modding system and everything you can do once you get down in here and you start going through spacesuit design. I've maxed out my weapon engineering, currently working on my spacesuit design. I've done some basic flight stuff. I've maxed out my ballistic weapons right there. I've maxed out my strength one so that I can get max carry weight, and then I'm going to start working on nutrition next. And I haven't even gotten to the point where I wanted to start doing outpost building with this character, but there's a lot to do. The point I'm trying to make as I'm rambling here is that the game has gotten much better since it launched, and I really think that anybody who's still in the camp of, oh, Starfield sucks, Bethesda sucks, I think those are people who are just angry about something that has nothing to do with Bethesda or the game, because I see these same people making these rage comments about everything everywhere, not just about this game. So I think some people are just unhappy no matter what. The people who enjoy Bethesda games, I've heard nothing but good things about Starfield. Of course, my bubble is full of people who enjoy the game, so that's probably tainting my experience just somewhat. But the numbers do tend to back up, considering the 70% growth in Xbox users with the new patch, and just the showering of new reviews that are coming out from a lot of different places about people talking about how the changes are nothing but good. So hopefully you're having as much fun as I am. If you are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch, and of course there's the Patreon and the Discord if you want to get involved with our community and check out my work as a fantasy and science fiction author. See you guys next time. Stay safe.